When night falls on Cape Town, South Africa, a far different side to this stunningly beautiful city emerges. And the local vice squad can't move fast enough to keep up with it. A rapidly growing illegal sex industry on the streets and in brothels scattered across the city. Outside the Lines was there in late April as Cape Town police raided brothels like this one inside a nondescript suburban home.
There's two clients, one in the first room here and there's another client in the second room.
Inside, two very surprised customers and three prostitutes, all Chinese nationals with suspect immigration documents.
One lady has no visa at all, and it looks like pages have been removed from her passport.
City Councillor J.P. Smith is Cape Town's point man in charge of safety and security for the World Cup.
Where we're starting to see a lot of foreign nationals is in brothels, in residential suburbs like you've just been, and they were not here a year ago. This is a new phenomenon, a very new phenomenon.
Smith says the city's recent crackdown on prostitution compelled police to confront another issue, human trafficking, recruiting people through force or deception to exploit them, either in the sex trade or for slave-like labor. When you hear Chinese national, does your antenna go up that there could potentially be trafficking?
Well, we know that the trafficking is some of the worst trafficking we're seeing amongst Southeast Asians and Chinese. And if they're here, most important for us at this stage to determine why they're here, on what basis. One of the goals we saw earlier tonight is here, the paperwork is falsified. Immigration has just confirmed that those are falsified documents.
Suspect immigration documents can be a tip-off, but identifying cases of human trafficking is difficult. And it's become an increasing concern as South Africa awaits an estimated 500,000 soccer fans for the World Cup.
There are instances of human trafficking definitely happening. Something illicit was going on in here.
Vice Squad Assistant Chief Neil Arendse says he's seen two disturbing trends in recent months that are red flags for human trafficking. Double the number of foreign nationals working as prostitutes in Cape Town and younger women on the streets selling sex. This girl tells police she's 19 at the time of her arrest. Back at the station, waiting to be booked, she admits she's 17.
We see younger girls taking to the streets, and so we are not surprised to find 17-year-olds anymore. Because the average age has literally dropped in the last month or two.
To what extent have you seen any impact from the World Cup?
Some of them came blatantly out and saying that we all need to make money off the FIFA World Cup, so that they are quite open when it comes to that. Some of them we spoke to even explained to us that they will stop what they're doing when the World Cup is done.
Outside the Line spoke to dozens of sources in South Africa who say more young women have recently been trafficked here. In some cases, manipulated to work as prostitutes in cities hosting the World Cup. We went undercover using cameras hidden in shirt buttons, looking for signs of human trafficking within the South African sex industry. We began with a walk down Long Street in Cape Town's central business district.
What's up? Have you been to Paradise?
We're on our way there now.
Paradise, yeah, we were going there. Are there a lot of girls there?
A lot of girls there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Nice.
A runner who leads men to area brothels spoke about the recent surge in sex agencies.
There's two guys that I know who's trying to accumulate girls from all over to come and work for him.
Guys who are what?
Trying to organize agencies, open up agencies, new agencies. You see?
Just for the World Cup?
Just for the World Cup.
We went inside Paradise Penthouse, a brothel that fronts as a massage parlor, and heard a similar story from the madam.
It seems like, just mushrooming because of the World Cup.
There's agencies mushrooming because
they're just, you know what I mean? These dingy, dodgy little places that are coming up all over the place.
We entered 11 brothels, similar to this one, in 2 South African cities, either accompanied by police or posing as customers.
Sit.
Hi, my name is.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I just want to talk to you. That's all.
Oh.
If that's okay, is that all right?
Yeah, no problem. Yes.
Yeah.
At a brothel called Chicago's, this 24-year-old South African told us that when she arrived in Cape Town 4 days ago, she had no idea she'd be selling sex.
When you came here, you didn't know that this place was like this?
No, I didn't.
What did you think it was like?
I thought it was just a massage parlor.
Inside another brothel known as the German Club in Johannesburg, tucked behind a walled compound on the end of a dead-end street, girls as young as 15 were offered to us by a madam, a warning sign, as sex traffickers in particular prey on the young.
The younger girls you have, where are they from? Wow.
In brothel after brothel, we found young women from other parts of South Africa and the world who told us they'd just recently arrived.
You're from China?
China, Shanghai.
Shanghai? Yeah? You're from Shanghai too? Yeah. How long you been here? How long you been here?
1 week.
What's that?
1 week.
1 week?
Yes.
These girls didn't come here by themselves. They didn't individually board a plane and fly here on a visa, etc. They're being brought here through syndicates who have the means to manipulate immigration processes, to bribe border patrol, border guards, to bribe immigration officials.
For traffickers, the promise of work is a common lure.
They found 5 girls locked inside this building right here.
American Tanya Stanfield runs a Cape Town anti-trafficking group. Less than a week before we arrived, police rescued 5 teenage girls locked inside this warehouse. Promised jobs, they were all trafficked from South Africa's northern provinces and instead held like slaves for domestic work. Stanfield's group helped place the 5 girls in a safe house.
So tricked, you're transported, then you're trapped. And that's what's happened here. These girls are trapped in here literally behind a padlock, unable to come out for 3 full months, told to stay at the back of this room. There's no human trafficking comprehensive laws in South Africa, so getting justice for those girls is going to be a real problem.
I think most people are just appalled that government is not taking this seriously enough.
Outside the gates of Parliament, activist and lobbyist Errol Naidu is still upset that an anti-trafficking law wasn't passed in time for the World Cup.
Many people are disappointed across the country because this was the pressure that we've been putting on government since last year already. We said the World Cup is coming. We know there's going to be a spike. There's going to be an increase in human trafficking just like it's happening now, and we need that law in place.
In the absence of legal protection, this woman, Babawa Makawala, looks to at least provide prostitutes a lifeline. She runs an outreach center in this gang-ridden Johannesburg neighborhood.
How young are some of the girls you're seeing out on the streets?
Exploited sexually, 12 years.
12 years old?
Yes.
When you see a 12-year-old being sexually exploited on the streets, what goes through your mind?
Oh my God, it breaks my heart.
But you don't have to hit the streets to find a teenage prostitute in South Africa.
Hello?
Hi, is this Peter?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Peter, according to a Cape Town advocacy group, has allegedly trafficked girls as young as 15. He offered us a 17-year-old.
Okay. So you'll bring the 17-year-old to that meeting?
Yeah, I'm going to bring for you the next one.
A half hour later, we were face-to-face with this girl, who told us she was just 17 and from Cameroon.
Are you sure you're not a cop?
I'm not a cop. I promise you I'm not a cop. I promise. I'm not a cop, okay?
No.
Later, in a hotel restaurant, she told us she'd only been working as a prostitute in Cape Town for 4 months.
Like this thing that I'm doing,
Yes?
I don't want to do it. You see now,
Is that a burn mark?
I stabbed myself
You stabbed yourself. Why?
because when the pressure comes down to you, and
You wanted to die?
because nobody cares for me, I don't know.
But is this 17-year-old, alone and thousands of miles from home, a trafficking victim? Like others we spoke with, it was difficult to tell in a brief encounter. Babawa Makawala struggles with the same question each week when she hits the streets, offering young prostitutes access to a safe house and job skills. Not until we followed her with a hidden camera one night on Johannesburg's southeast side did we see a clear-cut case of sex trafficking.
My name is Baba. I'm with Susie.
Hi.
Okay, we are from an organization called Real Life Center.
The girl in the back, in the brown sweater, who Makawala calls Musa, tells her she's just 17. The one in the white jacket, Tembi, says she's 22 and from Lesotho, a tiny country that borders South Africa.
Because I couldn't go back to Lesotho. I was suffering and I broke my virginity by rape, so I can't go to the people who are hating me.
Tembi explains that a gang of Nigerians found her 300 miles away in Durban, South Africa, promised her a job in a Johannesburg saloon, and stole her ID. Each day, she says, they give her crack cocaine and force her to work the streets.
What happened to you?
They stabbed me.
Who?
They stabbed you.
Some of the clients wanted to gang rape her. And then when they were grabbing her, she managed to take a bottle and stab one of them. And then they stabbed her 3 times.
Another girl, Cindy, says she's 15. She showed Makawala marks where she says her pimps, the same group of Nigerians, burned her with a steam iron.
You see, look here. You see the finger.
Oh my God.
You see me. They break bottles.
They were exploited. You know, we've seen the bruises on them. You know, physically, they were so abused, emotionally and sexually.
It's not easy to talk young girls off the streets.
You are the one who has power to change your life. The power is within you. You cannot blame any person. You cannot blame the situation that you had before. You have your life now.
Makawala pleads with them to come with her to a safe house.
You are beautiful. You've got ears. You've got mind. You've got, your hands. You are not crippled. You've got everything.
Finally, after more than an hour, Musa and Tembi agreed to break free. Within minutes, they were driven to safety. But Cindy remained behind, along with other girls in this house who worked the streets for the same men.
No doubt, this case is a case of human trafficking, and it is happening. So many girls, because we asked them, is this the only house that does something like this to girls? And they said, no, many.
But how many? How many houses in cities bracing for soccer fans from all over the world? In the end, Makawala's small victory on this Johannesburg street corner didn't last. Less than a week after being rescued, Musa and Tembi ran away from the shelter where they were taken that night. For now, we don't know whether they're safe or back on the streets.
That's John Barr reporting. Bring in a couple of guests now. E. Benjamin Skinner is a reporter and human trafficking expert. He's the author of the book